welcome back to Ready Controls. Structured text is powerful, but for most engineers, the syntax is where everything starts to break. In this video, we're going to build structured text from the ground up. I'll start by showing you where structured text lives in Studio 5000 and how to create a new structured text routine. Then we will break down structured text syntax, assignment expressions, operators, and why every line needs a semicolon. I'll explain the critical difference between the functions and instructions and why mixing them up causes syntax errors. And finally, we'll walk through the if statements, case logic, loops, and comments so you understand how structured text actually flows. Confused by structured text syntax errors? If you have ever seen a structured text syntax error and had no idea why it failed, this video will make it clear. Before we talk about syntax, we need to understand where structured text lives inside Studio 5000. I have Studio 5000 open here. I'm online with the controller. You go into the task, main program, right click, add new routine. And in this new routine here, in the type is where you select what kind of a routine, what type of a logic we are developing. We select structured text as a language for this new routine, and we just say _01_st and say OK. So that's how you create a, once you have a structured text routine, we just need to do a jump to subroutine instruction. So we go ahead and insert a rung and type JSR. And in the JSR, we select 01ST and go ahead and assemble the rungs. So all I have created is one subroutine and I'm calling it using the JSR. So this is how once you open the structured text, you can see the green bar here, which shows that it is we are online. And to edit, we can hit this start pending edit. To make it easier, we'll just zoom in to make the screen bigger for us to see the logic. So we go ahead and edit it. And the first thing we want to learn about structured text is not case sensitive. That means I could type motor equal to, I could use an instruction like that, or motor or MOTOR. All of them mean the same. That's what makes structured text not case sensitive. All three lines are same. But for humans are case sensitive, so consistency makes your code much easier. So just pick one and be consistent. So I'm just using that. Assignments and semicolons. You could see you have a assignment here. We are assigning a value of 1 to this motor variable, which is a bool, and each assignment operator needs to end with a semicolon. You could also have motor CMD equal, and whatever we have in the start PB status can be assigned to motor CMD, right? And you can see the text is red. That means it's an undefined tag, and to define a tag you could do everything here by right clicking the motor command and create new motor command, and you could call it a bool, create, and start PB is bool. And here, what is this one? It is it. So once I assemble these two, now you can see, since the start PB is 0, it is 0, but motor has a value of 1 inside it. Okay, that's how assignment operators work. But ensure assignment, forgetting the semicolon is one of the most common. Forgetting the semicolon, if you forget that semicolon, say let's edit it and delete that semicolon and try to assemble it, we'll get an error. which shows up here saying like one error. And it shows up there. So once you hit the semicolon, the error goes away. Okay. So that's how assignment operators work. Expression, right? An expression is something structured text evaluates. Expressions can evaluate to a number, to a true or false value, or a string. For example, I might have, let's edit this, I might have a speed calculation which uses an expression called RPM times 0.1047, right? So RPM, let's say RPM is a new tag and we just call it a RPM dint, and speed a new tag and it's a dint, right? So now this is an expression, right? And this expression is evaluating to a number. So if I go to, let's close this here, bring it up, the watch pane, and say I have RPM and speed, and if I put an RPM of 1200, once I execute the speed, once I assemble it, that expression returned 126 value to the speed, right? Similarly, you could do, say for example, you have a run permissive for your line. We just call it run permissive, and we want to assign the value of start PB, and is a AND operator and not of the fault, right? So let's say, so we have start underscore PB, which is already a tag, and fault is a, let's say it's a bool. Okay, so if I have fault here and we want to do run, oh, we did not create run permissive, but go ahead and create run permissive, is also a bool, and we just select run permissive here, right? So when we assemble these edits, okay, you could see the run permissive is 0 because my start push button is 0, and if you want to put a 1 in start permissive, now we have a run permissive. So that's how expressions work. So these expressions almost always appear on the right side of an assignment. So this is the right side of the assignment. And we can also work, and next we talk about structured text works with two types of values, right? They are tags, which are memory locations, and immediate values, which are constant, right? So we're talking about tags and immediate values, right? Example, say we have a counter and we assign it to a value of 5. So we do that counter assigned a value of 5. This is a constant value, right? Or we could do a counter 1, which takes a value of max count, which is a variable used in another program, right? So you could either do tags or constant tags or immediate values. So this is a tag and this is an immediate value. So these are two different ways of assigning values to the memory locations. Assigning values to the tags using max count is a memory location, whatever you have in the memory location will go into here, or immediate values which are constant. So right now, since we did not define a tag counter, it's showing that, but we can define these two counters and count, max count, and create. Okay, so that's how you assign values to structured text. Next, we expressions use operators to do work. These operators perform either arithmetic operation or relational operation to compare values, and logical operations to combine conditions. So for example, I have to calculate a total, and I can use the expression and say whatever in value 1 plus value 2, right? That's one arithmetic operation. Otherwise, I could also do a relational operator like compare. High temp is temp greater than set point. Or I could also do logical operators like enable equal to auto mode and not of e-stop, right? So that's how you could use expressions for expressions with operators to either do arithmetic, relational, and logical operators combined conditions. The operators behave as expected, but the syntax must be exact. Next, we talk about functions, functions and instructions, right? This is one of the most important concepts in Studio 5000. Functions and instructions are not the same things. Functions return a single value and can be used inside expressions, right? Example, ABS speed, let's make it ABS speed uses absolute function. As you can see, ABS is a function that returns absolute value of a tag speed, right? So we already have new speed, and this function returns the ABS value of that. Okay. Instructions, on the other hand, these are standalone statements. Instructions are standalone statements, and they cannot be used inside expressions, right? Like a timer on or a timer off instruction. So it could be T on, you could say T on is an instruction. Timer on delay with reset, or T off. These are all the instructions. If you try to use an instruction inside an expression, Studio 5000 will throw a syntax error. A simple rule: if it returns one value, it's a function. If it controls logic or devices, it's called an instruction. Next, we talk about construct. Constructs allow us to create controls to decide how the structured text flows, right? Constructs controls how structured text flows. So for example, if I have a logic like this, if the start push button and no fault, then do turn the motor command on, else motor command is off, and end if. So this is one example of a construct, of a if else construct. Another example would be, other construct could be a loop for I equal to 0 to 9, do sum is sum plus whatever the values we have, the values array of each index. So you will have a values array of 0 to 9. We'll add each one of them, put them into the sum, right? So that's one way of doing constructs. You also have case statements and other loop types, all of which depend on the correct syntax. The last one we talk about is comments. Is if you want to do a single line comment, you could do a single line comment using 2 backward slashes, right? And if you want to do multi-line, you do a open bracket and a asterisk, and you could do a multi-line comment, and then you can close it, right? So good comments make structured text easier to understand, maintain, and troubleshoot. Now you have understood how structured text syntax works, from creating a routine to assigning to assignments, expressions, functions, instructions, and constructs. In the next video, we'll move into variables and data types, bools, dints, reals, and strings, and that's where the most real world structured text begins to happen. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe, and drop your question in the comments. I will build future videos based on your questions. Until then, see you in the next video.